Hi guys, today I'm doing my nails again, so I thought to start off I'd show you how well this nail set lasted. I've had these on 4 weeks and I've not had any of the chrome chipping or I've had no lifting. They've lasted so well. Anyway, I have prepped my nails, so I've done all the usual prep, my cuticles, all of that, and I've got a really thin base of builder gel on, and because I've already got base coat and all of that on, I'm just going to show you from this point. So I'm starting with some blooming gel. So if you haven't used blooming gel before, you pop it on and you leave it uncured before you add in your colours and everything else that's going to bloom out in the blooming gel. So that's uncured, and I'm just taking Envy and I'm just going to be kind of splodging this on. It's going to be a bit abstract, so I'm just going to add this around the nail and let it just bloom out. So I want all of the nails a little bit different as well. Once that's cured, I'm just going back in with another layer of blooming gel, and we're just going to do another colour, and this is just going to blend into the gaps and over the top of the previous colour as well. So again, leave that uncured, and then we're taking Tuscan Sun and just splodging that in the gaps. And like I say, I just want it to be quite free-flowing and organic, this bottom layer, and we are going to have this matte, so it will look a little bit lighter in the end, because when you add a matte top over, it does lighten the colours a little bit because of the finish. Once that's cured, I'm taking Medusa and I'm just adding on some circles, and these are going to kind of look like gems in the end. So I'm going to do them kind of circular, but I'm not too bothered about them being perfect because I'm going to go in with other products and I don't want them to look too perfect either. I want them to look a little bit more organic like the background. Once that's cured, I'm taking Gel Top Coat Nail Sealer, and this is the start of our chrome prep. So I'm just going to do this all over the nails, a nice thin layer, and this is basically going to be a barrier for us buffing down our nails. So I could have made my life a little bit easier at this point and buffed these now, but I didn't, and I made my life a little bit harder. So if you want it easier, buff them down first before you do this section. So then I'm just going in, once that's cured, with some Clear as Day Builder Gel, and I'm literally just pooling that on top to make a big ball on top of those sections to make them look more like gems. So I've done that on all the nails. You can flip your nails upside down if you want to get a bit more height to them and get them back like central as well. Once they're cured, I'm just wiping off any of that residue on top of the builder gel because we're going to buff it down. We don't want that smudging everywhere. So I'm just taking one of our buffing blocks and buffing around my whole entire nail, and like I said earlier, it would have been easier if I'd have done the background first and then the 3D section afterwards, but it is completely doable because the buffing blocks are flexible and will move around it as well. So once you've dusted that off, I'm just going to be taking some Serious Black and we're just outlining around those 3D elements and kind of encasing them like jewellery, because this Serious Black is where our chrome's going to go. So anywhere that there's Serious Black, the chrome will stick, but it won't stick anywhere else because we've buffed it all down. So next I'm just taking some more of that Serious Black on a fine detail brush, and I'm just making random swirly patterns around the nail just to kind of make it look a little bit futuristic, a little bit more like jewellery. I want it to be like free flowing. So as you can see, I'm just using curved lines to kind of join up around the nail, and each nail is going to be completely and utterly different. You just want to make sure that that's nice and smooth, so when the chrome goes on, it's not bumpy. You want it to go on as smooth as possible. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing on all of the other nails. Like I say, everyone's going to be completely different. I'm just going to add on lines that maybe join these two gems up, and then some around the nail as well. Like I say, make sure you've got plenty of curved lines and they kind of make sense with the other shapes that are going on as well. Next, I'm just going in with the dotting tool and adding some dots to all of the nails. I just want to add a little bit more detail. They'll kind of look a little bit like rivets as well. Once that's cured, I'm taking this chrome pen, and this one's almost silver with a little hint of gold because I'm not a very gold person with my skin tone. I much prefer a silver, but I wanted it just a little bit warmer. So I'm just going over all that serious black, and as you can see, it's only sticking to serious black and not the other gel polishes because we buffed them all down because we were smart about that. So make sure that's rubbed in really well. Make sure you get in all the crevices around those gems too. Once we're happy with the coverage of that, I'm just going to take a piece of sponge, and this will just grip onto any excess chrome and just wipe it off. As you can see, it's just getting all those little extra bits out of the way for us. So to finish the nails, I want the background to be matte still, and I want the chrome to be shiny. So all I'm doing is doing a full coat of matte coat, but just be careful when you're putting this on because it can move the chrome around if you mess with it too much. So you just want to kind of swipe it on and leave it as is. Cue with that, and then I'm taking top coat and literally just going over the sections I want shiny. So any of the chrome and the gems, and you can see those gems come back to life with a little bit of top coat as well. I love that Medusa colour with those glitter particles in there. It's really rich and luxurious. Once I've gone over all of the kind of line work and the gems, I'm literally using the end of the brush just to dot a little bit on those little circles as well. I'm going to pop that into Cure, and that's it. It was actually a lot simpler than it looks. I do need to wipe off all of that excess chrome off my finger though and give them a good wash. But there we go, guys. They're very busy and very fun. Not for everyone, but I really like them. I think they turned out cute. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.